So, I've realized something. I have a problem. In this video, you're going to see a little bit about how my mind works. So back to my problem. It's a first world problem, it's not a big problem. It's a video game problem. I've purchased Final Fantasy the Pixel Remake. I rather enjoy playing it. I even got the Platinum Trophy in it. Quite easily, actually. But that's not the problem. The problem is when I was playing this, I started thinking back about how many times I've actually purchased this game, Final Fantasy 1. So, on the original Nintendo Entertainment System, I had this game, Final Fantasy. It was a contender for one of my top two games for that system. Either Zelda, the original Zelda, or Final Fantasy were always one of my top picks for top game. They still are. I still enjoy it, and I still play it. I don't play it on the original Nintendo. I play it on my Nintendo Mini, which is the second time I purchased this game. But before I purchased it on the Nintendo Mini, there were other times that I purchased it. So when the PlayStation 1 came out, it eventually released a copy of Final Fantasy Origins, which was Final Fantasy 1 and 2. I didn't really play Final Fantasy 2. I played Final Fantasy 1 though, and I played the crap out of it on the PlayStation 1. The difference between that one and the original was the PlayStation 1 had upgraded graphics, and it also came with an easy mode, which was, kind of different, kind of nice, if you wanted to blow through the game pretty quick. So I sold my PlayStation 1 and I sold all the games in it, and that's a story for another video, because I kind of regret that sale, because I had some really great games. I'm not going to get into that here. But I also had a PSP later on when I had a PlayStation 2 getting into the PlayStation 3. On the PS3, they released Final Fantasy 1 20th Anniversary Edition, and I purchased it. Once again, it was a little different than the original. It had upgraded graphics, and it had several new dungeons. I think 4 new bosses that you could fight in these dungeons. So these dungeons would appear when you're done the Earth Cave, the volcano, the Sky Temple, and the underwater whatever. When you fought the 4 bosses, these caves would appear and would become open to you. So they were challenging, and they added a new dimension to the game, but it was essentially the same game. So I eventually got rid of my PSP and sold all the games for it. And I got a PS Vita, and I had a PS3 eventually. And the PS3 and the Vita, I purchased again, the Origins Edition, digitally. So this is several times now I've purchased this thing. And if I add them up, I've purchased it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times now. 6 times I purchased this game, Final Fantasy 1. Now, I don't regret buying this new Pixel Edition. This Pixel Edition is really nice. It's got graphics that are upgraded again. They fixed the magic system so that your intelligence, as it goes up, they call it intellect now, as it goes up, the strength of your spells increases. In fact, they fixed mages a lot in this. They really made them useful. Another thing that they added was ethers in it, so you could restore your spells, and that makes it so you don't have to save your spells right to the boss battle. You can use your mages and the spells during normal fights while you're going through the dungeons to get to the bosses. So I like that aspect of it. They fixed some of the glitches in it. For instance, the silver sword you used to be able to buy in the Elf Town, that was a glitch from the original game. And this version, the newest version, they fixed that. They moved it to where you're supposed to have bought it, which is the Crescent Town, the town with the Crescent Lake. And the longsword in the Elf Town instead. And that was a correction from that was a correction that none of the other versions had. They always had the silver sword in the elf town. So they corrected a bunch of the glitches that they had in this. And it was an enjoyable experience. I played through it once. I got to level 99. All my characters are level 99. I, maxed out their hit points. It was a great experience. It was a lot of fun. They also have you can turn encounters off and on, which is nice, because when you get to a certain level, you don't want to fight goblins or shitty little character enemies that just waste time. They're stupid fights. Half of them run away, and you get so little experience and gold for it that why even bother? So that was kind of nice that they allowed you to turn off encounters in this version of the game. I understand they also fixed the thief up a little more. The thief is quite a bit better, but he's still ultimately a pretty shitty fighter. So of course I don't use the thief. If they had a steal command in Final Fantasy 1, I would definitely use the thief. So you're probably thinking, why is this such a problem? So I purchased this game 6 times, and I kind of feel stupid for doing so, because Square Enix has gotten me 6 times on the same game, essentially. There have been changes to it, but it's essentially the same game. And then I turn around and I give my stepson grief for buying into all these microtransactions. Oh, I want the new skin for my guy, or I want the new, skin for my guy's gun, or I want the golden gun instead of the normal colored gun, or whatever it may be. All these little microtransactions, which add up to a lot of money. And of course, I give him a hard time for it, because I think it's a sucker's move. But who really is the sucker here? Is it him buying the microtransactions for a game that he likes? Or is it me buying the same game 6 times over my lifetime? It's see how my mind works. It's a really strange rabbit hole I go down with these things, and I'm not sure why I'm so concerned about it, except that if they put out a new version of Final Fantasy 1, am I going to buy that one too? I don't know, but past performance says, yeah, I'll be a sucker for it, and I'll buy another one. Thank you very much, Square, for giving me yet another version of Final Fantasy 1 to purchase. So, I don't know. I bought this one. I didn't buy all the Pixel remasters. Out of all the Pixel remasters, I don't even want to play Final Fantasy 2 and 3. I think they're garbage. The 4th one I would play. I really like the 4th one, but the version I would want to play is the PSP version, which I owned when I had a PSP, which was called, I can't remember what it was called. It was called The Complete Chronicles, I think. And it had upgraded graphics again, but it was really good. It was really well done. And, of course, Final Fantasy V, I'm not too thrilled about. Final Fantasy VI I'd play again, but really 1, 4, and 6 would be the only ones I really would want out of the 6 games. So paying $99 or $100 Canadian for 6 Final Fantasy games, old as dirt. I mean, the last one came out during the Super Nintendo era. Do I really want to do that again? So no, I didn't. So I did only buy Final Fantasy 1, and I paid $15 for it. So it's not that much money that I'm out. But the fact of the matter is, it is the 6th time I bought it. So, I'm not just out $15. I'm out all the money before that I've spent on this stupid game. And even though it is one of my favorite games ever, and I do enjoy playing through it every once in a while, I just cannot fathom buying the same game 6 times in a row. I gotta ask you guys, anybody watching this video, do you ever do the same thing? Do you fall for the same trick as, here's a little remaster, you've got the original sitting on your shelf or in a box somewhere, but here's a little remaster for you and it's got a little bit of extra things in it, buy it again? Or, how many times do you fall for that? Twice? 3 times? 5 times? I mean, here I am buying the same game 6 times in my life, over my life, and it's absolutely stupid. It's stupid. And then turn around, like I said, and give my stepson a hard time for buying DLC and microtransaction stuff for modern games, which, once again, I don't have a problem with it. The game itself is free, and then they're monetizing it using microtransactions. But I do have a problem with it when you pay $80 for a game, and then day one you get DLC and a whole bunch of microtransactions that you can buy more stuff, and you can end up spending $200, $300, $400 on one stupid game just so you can play it online. And half the time you can't even see that your guy's got a new skin on. Only other players can see it. So I'm not even sure what the value is of it. So here I go again. I'm ripping on that, and at the same time admitting to you all that yes, I bought Final Fantasy 1 6 times in my life. Anyway, I didn't want this video to be too long. I just wanted to come out and say, you know, give you that little neurotic part of my mind, the way I've been thinking while I've been playing this thing. It was a fun game to play. If you do like Final Fantasy 1, you should play it because it does have a lot of fixes in it. It is very, very enjoyable to play. So anyway, thanks for watching the video, and talk to you again. See you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.